So, Graziano, I'll come to you. With the way this team has fallen off a cliff, if someone said Russell Wilson needs to win this game to save his job, to be the quarterback next year, would that be fact or fiction?
Oh, it's fact. I mean, look, there's nothing really compelling them to bring him back. He's there on a one-year minimum salary deal. There was never any commitment beyond this year. And if what happens at the end is they fall apart because he started playing poorly, then they'll just go find whatever next year's Russell Wilson type solution is. He's in the mix. I think he's a guy that they've liked, but I don't think there's any sure thing to be back there at all, especially if they are one and done in the playoffs again.
Well, and there's a lot on the line for the Steelers. So on Sunday NFL Countdown, when Shefty was running through the list of all the coaches that he thought would be fired and wouldn't be fired, I think underneath all of that got buried a fascinating thing he said about Mike Tomlin. Listen.
I think that there are going to be teams out there that have watched the way that the Pittsburgh Steelers season has ended and wonder whether they should call the Steelers to see if they should inquire about whether the Steelers would be willing to move on from Mike Tomlin and move him to another organization. I don't think Pittsburgh will do that. That has not been what they've been about, and there's no indication that they would. But I do think there are teams wondering whether they should lob in a call just to see if they could stir Pittsburgh's interest.
So that got very interesting. Shefty pointed out yesterday that on McAfee's show, I believe, that Tomlin has a no-trade clause in his contract. But the reality is those things are sort of fungible anyway, because if he wants to go somewhere, then they're not trading him to a place he doesn't want to go.
Right.
You said an interesting thing to us in our meeting. If somehow Mike Tomlin were to become available,
oh my gosh,
what would happen?
Well, the teams would fire. I mean, like all of a sudden, like Brian Daboll's probably not safe, right? Like is Shane Steichen, like this is a solution that immediately jumps to the front of the line. Like, I know there are complaints in Pittsburgh about how the lack of playoff success. The way this guy manages an organization, the way this guy coaches a team, he would be everyone's top choice immediately if he were to become available. That's why they extended him last offseason. And to Adam's point, I don't think the Steelers would entertain this.
He's a guy that shows up and makes everyone's job a lot easier, and especially the owner of the team. And so, I think we spend a lot of time on this show talking about the way that owners communicate their message. You hire Mike Tomlin, you can shut up and disappear. He becomes the face, he becomes the culture of the organization. It's very much like what Dan Campbell has done in Detroit. Mike Tomlin's been doing that for a long time. Dan Campbell is the flavor of the month, and he deserves all the credit, but I think that teams would get excited for that. The crazy part about this is the idea that the Steelers, who know what they have, would be willing to move on from it.
Yeah,
the Steelers organization is different than the Steelers fans. Steelers fans, some of them might be comfortable with that. I can't imagine that the organization would want to move on from Mike Tomlin.
I don't think they would.
Yeah, I agree with you. From a fan's perspective, the way this is playing out is getting old. Yeah. That's the problem. Fans are fanatics for a reason. They love their team, and you haven't won anything in a long time. But let's frame it in the right way. The last time I thought they were really competitive playoff-wise was Ben Roethlisberger. I think they started 11-0 or something like whatever that year was.
They lost all the rest of their games and lost their first.
And they were throwing like 2-yard passes that somebody would go. But that was the last time that you really thought. Since then, Mike Tomlin has been getting a team that's just kind of okay to the playoffs. And the problem is there's 7 teams on each side. Those teams are usually going to lose. And so you get to the playoffs and you lose and everybody blames you. But they haven't been good enough as a football team, apart from coaching, to go win those games.
Well, just do something fun. Our friend Mark Silverman from Chicago gave us this idea. Put up C28 if you would.
Okay.
So I'm gonna C28. Now we're going to go to C28.
Yeah.
So we're going to play a quick game. I'm going to show you the resumes of 2 NFL head coaches. Look how similar.
Yeah.
They have the same number of 10-win seasons. The one on the right actually has a little better playoff record. They both won 1 Super Bowl. The one on the left,
I know who it is. Mike Tomlin on the left.
Mike Tomlin.
Mike McCarthy on the right.
the one on the right
Yeah, got to be Mike.
is Mike McCarthy.
Yeah.
Think about the difference in the way.
I played for a year. Body type gave it away there, Mike.
Just think about
We've seen worse pictures.
Oh, gosh.
think about the difference in the ways that they are perceived.
Right.
You know, like right now, you just said that if Mike Tomlin became available, every team in the NFL would fire their coach to hire him.